A wall of dust, 1 kilometer tall and 40 miles wide, is bearing down on Phoenix, Arizona tonight. Waves from last night's derecho are generating a rare Meteotsunami on Lake Michigan and Lake Erie right now. And it is snowing in the Cascade Mountains tonight while temperatures hit 110 degrees just 500 miles south. 9 simultaneous weather extremes are active across the United States, happening simultaneously tonight. Every single region of this country is dealing with something extraordinary tonight, and it all connects. A 5% EF2 plus tornado threat is in place today from Joplin through Indianapolis and Saint Louis. The Storm Prediction Center is watching for a potential upgrade to the damaging wind and tornado probabilities. The key question for today is storm mode. Will the warm sector stay open for discrete supercells? Discrete supercells in today's environment would easily be capable of EF2 plus violent tornadoes this afternoon. If the warm sector opens fully by noon, this afternoon could be a very active tornado day. Rotating supercells fire near St. Louis at lunchtime and track through Springfield and Effingham by 2 p.m. An isolated strong tornado is possible near Mount Vernon along I-70 by 3 p.m. if storms stay discrete. By 4 p.m., supercells near North Platte could produce a photogenic tornado. Indianapolis gets hit by 5 p.m. Cincinnati and Louisville face the line of thunderstorms with damaging winds between 6 and 7 p.m. tonight. Baseball-sized hail is possible near Wichita and Springfield, Missouri, with 60 to 75 miles per hour wind gust widespread. If you have any outdoor plans in the tornado threat zone, please have a shelter plan ready now. Warnings can come very fast today. Know your shelter location before the first storm arrives this afternoon. Comment your city below. We will track this outbreak specifically for your area throughout the day today. If morning storms allow the warm sector to fully breathe, the afternoon tornado risk goes up significantly. If you have outdoor plans this afternoon, please make weather preparedness the top priority right now. Now let's shift to Beryl, because the satellite imagery this morning is showing something extremely significant. Beryl is holding at Category 3 strength with 115 miles per hour sustained winds and a well-defined eye on satellite. But Beryl is undergoing an Eyewall replacement cycle right now, and that changes everything about its future impact. 2 concentric rings of cloud are visible on satellite. Around Beryl's center, it looks exactly like a target. Peak winds at the center may temporarily ease during the ERC, but that is not the real story. The real story is the ERC has doubled Beryl's destructive wind field across the ocean surface. A doubled wind field hits a much wider swath of coastline when Beryl eventually makes landfall. Once Beryl completes this ERC, it often emerges as a bigger and potentially even stronger hurricane. Do not be fooled if headlines say Beryl weakened. It is reorganizing itself into something more dangerous. Beryl is tracking toward the Caribbean, with the Gulf of Mexico still in its longer-range forecast path. Gulf Coast families from Brownsville to Tampa, this is your preparation window before Beryl's track locks in. The National Hurricane Center is issuing advisories every 6 hours. Read every single one of them this week. Tell me your Gulf Coast city in the comments. We're tracking Beryl's path city by city all week. Now let's talk about something most people outside the Southwest have never seen, and it is extraordinary. A haboob is a massive wall of dust created when a thunderstorm's downdraft hits the dry desert floor. That downdraft launches sand and dust skyward into a wall stretching dozens of miles across the landscape. Tonight's haboob is over 1 kilometer tall, moving at 40 to 60 miles per hour. That is freight train speed. When a haboob hits, daylight disappears instantly. The sky turns a solid wall of orange and black dust. Visibility drops to 0 in seconds, and that is immediately life-threatening on any interstate highway. Interstates 10 and 17 running through Phoenix are at extreme risk of multi-vehicle collisions during a haboob. If you are driving in Arizona tonight and see a brown wall on the horizon, pull over immediately. Pull completely off the road, turn off your lights, and wait inside the vehicle until it passes. Phoenix and Tucson residents, if a haboob is approaching your neighborhood, seal doors and windows immediately. Haboob visibility of 0 means you literally cannot see your own hand in front of your face. The Arizona Haboob season typically runs June through September, but this one is extraordinarily large for June. Dust inside a Haboob can destroy air filters and cut engines on vehicles left running during the event. The heat dome combining with dry lightning, Haboobs, and wildfire smoke has made the Southwest extreme. Arizona viewers, comment your city and tell us if you're seeing Haboob conditions on the ground now. Now let's move to something almost nobody is talking about tonight, and it involves the Great Lakes. Last night's derecho and the rotating MCV have created a rare meteotsunami on Lake Michigan and Lake Erie. A meteotsunami is not caused by an earthquake. It is caused by sudden changes in atmospheric pressure. When a fast-moving storm system crosses a lake, the pressure change pushes down on the water surface. That pressure wave travels across the lake at the same speed as the storm system that created it. When that wave enters a shallow harbor or bay, the water has nowhere to go, so it rises. Meteotsunami waves on Lake Michigan and Lake Erie can reach 1 to 3 feet. And that sounds small, but the speed and force behind those waves can overturn small boats and pin swimmers against breakwaters. Dangerous rip currents on Lake Michigan and Lake Erie are a major concern from this meteotsunami event. Meteotsunamis on Lake Michigan have historically been mistaken for earthquakes because of how sudden they are. Lake Erie is particularly vulnerable to meteotsunami because of its shallow depth and elongated shape. Chicago, Cleveland, and Buffalo meteotsunami conditions mean stay completely out of the water today. Great Lakes Beach visitors today stay well back from the shoreline until this meteotsunami event passes. Now let's go to the Pacific Northwest. What is happening there right now is genuinely hard to believe. It is snowing in the Cascade Mountains of Washington and Oregon tonight in the last week of June. Snow is also accumulating in the northern Rockies and northern Idaho at higher elevations right now. Inches of snowfall accumulating in late June is not a typo. It is genuinely happening right now. A cutoff low from the Gulf of Alaska dropped frigid air over Washington, Oregon, and northern Idaho. The temperature contrast tonight, 110 degrees in Arizona and snow in the Cascades just 500 miles north. That 110-degree temperature swing across 500 miles is a direct signature of an extremely distorted jet stream. The jet stream normally flows west to east. Tonight, it dips violently both far south and far north. Those extreme jet stream dips create the simultaneous heat in Arizona and snow in Oregon tonight. A June snowstorm in the Cascades is a standard deviation departure that forecasters rarely see in their careers. Washington and Oregon Mountain Pass drivers expect hazardous snow conditions on Highway 2 and Stevens Pass tonight. This jet stream pattern is the single biggest reason every part of America sees extreme weather tonight. The Pacific Northwest snow proves this is not a regional weather event, it is a national one. Meanwhile, in Southern California, thousands of dry lightning strikes ignited dozens of wildfires overnight. Dry lightning forms when rain evaporates before reaching the ground. Only the lightning actually makes contact. Dozens of wildfires igniting simultaneously means fire crews physically cannot respond to all of them at once. Air quality is hazardous across wide areas of Southern California from the overnight wildfire smoke. There is no rain in the forecast for California, or Arizona fire weather conditions will continue. If you are under a wildfire evacuation warning tonight in Southern California, please leave right now. The Mesoscale Convective Vortex from last night's derecho is rotating through the Ohio Valley toward Pennsylvania. This MCV is pumping continuous moisture into the Ohio Valley, with localized totals possibly exceeding 4 inches. Flash flood emergencies are possible in urban areas of Pennsylvania and the Ohio Valley from this system. Pittsburgh, Columbus, and Cincinnati, watch for rapid water rises on streets and in low-lying areas tonight. Turn around, don't drown. This applies to MCV flooding just as much as any other flooding situation. Heat index values near 105 to 110 degrees continue across the East Coast and Ohio Valley tonight. Overnight temperatures staying above 80 degrees give the body no chance to recover from the daytime heat. Check on elderly neighbors and family members tonight. Heat is the silent killer of summer every year. Monday then shifts the severe weather threat east. Washington, D.C. through Charlotte carries the highest risk. A spin-up tornado is possible in the D.C. and Philadelphia corridor Monday between 4 and 8 p.m. Damaging 60 to 75 miles per hour wind gusts are the primary Monday threat for New York and Washington, D.C. Next weekend, a big Pacific Northwest low arrives, and Monday next week could be a major outbreak day. Evansville through Louisville over the next 48 hours could see 3 to 4 inches of additional rainfall locally. All 9 of these extreme events connect to one thing: a deeply distorted and amplified jet stream. When the jet stream oscillates this extremely, it creates weather records across the entire country simultaneously. Forecasters call this a high-amplitude meridional jet stream flow, and tonight it is running absolutely wild. That flow is responsible for snow in Oregon, tornadoes in Illinois, and Beryl's explosive development. The eastern half bakes, the Pacific Northwest freezes, the Central Plains tornado, the Southwest burns, all one pattern. This is what maximum atmospheric energy looks like, and June 2026 is writing its own history book. No region of this country is sitting out. This weekend, the atmosphere has claimed every single corner. Every major story tonight: Beryl, tornadoes, snow, Haboob, Meteotsunami, all traces back to the same pattern. June 21st, 2026 will be referenced in weather textbooks as the Day 9 extremes hit America at once. This is genuinely one of the most extreme single-day weather maps the United States has seen in years. NOAA Weather Radio is your most reliable backup when cell service goes down during a severe weather event. With 9 simultaneous weather events, cell towers will be busy and overloaded in many parts of the country. Joplin, Missouri, and Springfield, you are in the EF2 Plus tornado bullseye this afternoon. Shelter plan required. Tornado timeline. Today, St. Louis at lunch. Indianapolis at 5 p.m. Cincinnati and Louisville by 7 p.m. Washington, D.C. and Philadelphia, your tornado window opens Monday at 4 p.m. with damaging winds and spin-ups. Phoenix and Tucson, Haboob approaching. Seal your home, stay off the roads, and wait inside. Chicago, Cleveland, and Buffalo, Meteotsunami conditions on Lake Michigan and Lake Erie means stay out of the water. Portland, Seattle, and the Cascades, June snowfall and hazardous mountain pass conditions are active right now. Houston, New Orleans, Tampa, and Miami follow every NHC advisory on Beryl and have your prep checklist ready. Pittsburgh and Columbus, the MCV is sending over 4 inches of rain your way. Watch for flash flooding. Los Angeles and Phoenix, hazardous air quality from wildfire smoke. Limit your outdoor exposure through the day. Kansas City, slight risk today with scattered storms and a lingering tornado threat through this evening. Oklahoma City and Tulsa, southern edge of today's risk area with 60 to 75 miles per hour gust possible. Charlotte and Raleigh Monday brings the highest risk in the mid-Atlantic to your area with damaging winds. Minneapolis and Rochester, be on alert Tuesday afternoon for possible supercells from the weak northern plains low. Mississippi, Alabama, and Louisiana. More rain is arriving Monday and you've already had too much from Arthur. If your city isn't on this list, comment below and we'll get you a specific weather update. Let's step back and look at all 9 of these stories together because the full picture is staggering. A wall of dust consuming Phoenix. Waves rocking Lake Michigan. June snow in Oregon while Arizona hits 110. EF2 tornadoes from Joplin to Indianapolis. Beryl doubling its wind field. Dry lightning igniting California. And MCV flooding the Ohio Valley. Extreme heat baking the East Coast. Monday's threat expanding eastward. 9 simultaneous weather emergencies across every corner of this country on tonight. Make sure all your weather alerts are on and know your shelter plan before the first warning drops. Never drive through a flooded road. Never drive into a Haboob. And never ignore a tornado warning. To everyone sheltering tonight, You made the right call, keeping your family safe above all else. Tell me your city in the comments. Where are you watching from across this incredibly active country tonight? Are you tracking the tornadoes? Sheltering from a Haboob? Watching Beryl? Or seeing June snow in the Northwest? What is your reaction to 9 different extremes happening simultaneously? Tell us in the comments right now. We'll continue monitoring all 9 of these situations and push updates through the night as things develop. Being prepared and informed tonight is the only thing that gives you options when the weather turns. To everyone watching tonight, stay safe, keep your families informed, and stay locked into the updates. 9 extremes, 1 extraordinary night. Every corner of America in the weather story. Stay safe out there. Kansas City viewers in the slight risk, keep a close eye on the radar through this evening. Oklahoma City and Tulsa, southern edge of today's risk area with 60 to 75 miles per hour gusts possible. Charlotte and Raleigh, Monday, brings the highest mid-Atlantic risk to your area with damaging winds. Minneapolis and Rochester be on alert Tuesday afternoon for supercells from the weak northern plains low. Mississippi and Alabama, more rain arrives Monday, and you have already had too much from Arthur this week. The Great Lakes beach rule today is simple. Stay completely out of the water until conditions normalize. On the tornado setup today, storms off the Rockies help ignite the initial supercells this afternoon. By late evening, the line of thunderstorms sweeps southeast, bringing damaging winds across a very wide area. Beryl, after completing the ERC, will emerge with a broader wind field and potentially stronger peak winds. The Caribbean islands directly in Beryl's path need to finalize their preparations today, not tomorrow. Haboob dust can penetrate home windows and damage electronic equipment, tape window gaps if possible. The Meteotsunami rip currents are invisible from shore. They give no visual warning before they grab you. Snow accumulation in the Cascades in late June represents the most extreme jet stream behavior of the year. Being prepared and informed is genuinely the only thing separating a close call from a tragic outcome today. We have never tracked this many simultaneous extremes in a single broadcast. June 2026 is genuinely historic. Share this forecast with family in the tornado zone, the Gulf Coast, Arizona, or near the Great Lakes. Stay weather aware, stay prepared, and most importantly, stay safe through what is already a historic night. We will push updates through the night, Beryl. The tornadoes, the Haboob, the Meteotsunami, all of it. To everyone keeping their family informed and prepared tonight, that is exactly the right thing to do. 9 extremes, 1 night. The atmosphere is not done, and neither are we.